Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. I'm your host, Mohan Kumar Saraswatipura, an IBM Gold Consultant, IBM Champion, and a published author. I'm going to be having my co-host today, Martin Hubel. He will be joining in a few minutes. Welcome to episode 264, Understanding DB2's Powerful Monitoring and Procedures. This is going to be the powerful pack around the monitoring of DB2. We were running the monitoring since about 3 sessions. So it's going to be the last session of the monitoring for this year. And we're going to come up with the brand new sessions for the next year with 12.1. Right? Today, our special guest is Raghavendra C., a senior staff software engineer from IBM Software Labs India. Hi, Raghu. How are you doing?
Yeah, hi Mohan. I'm doing fine. Pleasure to be here again.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for taking time today. Thank you very much for delivering 2 sessions this year. This is the second one in the series. Get involved. So this is your show. So this is about the DB2 community, making the DB2 community know very well about the DB2 products, features, and monitoring solutions, and helping everybody across the world. And the replays are available in YouTube. And please do subscribe to the DB2Night show within YouTube, and also join us on LinkedIn and follow us on Twitter, X, right? And we have a recent change with our website. I'm going to flip my screen here to take you to the website. This is the new design change in our website. You will start seeing all the recordings coming over to this site. You will have to go when you log into. You will go to the home page, and then if you go to Night Show, that's where you will see all the recordings and the links available. This is a little bit different than what you used to have before. This is the recent change to our website, right? Okay. Disclaimer, I'm going to leave this for about 10 seconds for people to read. All right. Today's Tonight show, we have a couple of quick announcements. As I said, we have a brand new website launched, and for the upcoming, we have a bunch of sessions planned for next year, including all the 12.1 features, DB Assistance, PureScale with Pacemaker in Hyperscaler with both AWS and Azure, online index reorg for PureScale, GenAI with DB2, and multiple other sessions from IBM Lab, right? Stay tuned. We're going to send out all the details about it in about a couple of weeks. Then you will see all the sessions and the details around it. So to run DBI, for example, if you want to run DB2 with existing hardware without having to upgrade the hardware, yeah, so go visit DBI website and then look at the features available within our product stack. Then you can really run DB2 reliably, faster, and with lower cost to the company, right? And it also supports SQL Server along with DB2. The sponsors are going to be DBI Night Show, DBI, as well as the DB Automation. All right, we're going to run the polling questions here. You're going to start seeing questions coming over on your screen. All right, let me know. We're going to have 20 seconds for each. Collecting the responses. Right, 5 seconds left. Okay, closing the poll, sharing the result. 100%, 11.58 and above. That's the good news, right? Because 11.1 is out of support, 10.5 is out of support, and then 11.58 and 11.59 are the brand new stack mod packs, and then 12.1's released already. Okay, let's look at what you're running on Z. If anybody from Z today. Okay, we have about 20 seconds. Looks like no one is from Z. Oh, we got a few responses. All right, closing the poll, sharing the result. 100% on 9. Wow, that's pretty old. That's the legacy. Right. What is your primary monitoring tool? DPI product, DMC, CA products, BMC products. It includes both LEW and Z here. Collecting the responses, closing the poll, sharing the result. I think we have an opportunity here for the DBI product. I don't see anybody using DBI. We have DMC and then query monitor on the Z side of it. Yeah, please do check out our website. You can look at the scenarios, business cases, and then you can make a real case to the organization management team. All right. What are your challenges? Okay. We have 5 seconds left. Okay. Closing the poll, sharing the result. Performance always takes the precedence, right? That's where we have these performance sessions, DB2Night show, and also DBI products are going to really help you in solving the performance problems. Please reach out at me or the sales team. All right, so that's about the move your mouse. All right, hi Raghu. So it's gonna be Night Show episode 264, understanding DB2's powerful monitoring tools and procedures. Raghu is going to take us through a lot of monitoring capabilities within DB2 without having to buy the products. It's going to be plain command line as well as the graphical representation or format of the data set. So Raghu, I'm going to give you the presentation capabilities here.
Sure, Mohan.
Hi, Martin. Can you hear me? Raghu, take it away.
Good morning. Sorry, things are a little slow here. Moving on. Still looking at my task manager. It says I'm still at 100% disk.
Oh, wow.
So things are paging in and out.
Great. Thanks for
What
joining.
you get for only having 16 megabytes of memory. Oh, no worries. It's great to be here.
Raghu, I can see your screen. Yes. And you can start the presentation.
Sure. Hi, Martin. Good day. Hi, Mohan.
Nice to see you. Thanks for presenting.
Yeah. Hi, all. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity given for me again to represent a little bit of the knowledge what I have on the DB2 monitoring part. So last time we discussed on the DB2 performance FAQs. This time we are concentrating on the monitoring part, like because again, monitoring is one of the vast section where, so we have different tools in DB2 like If you go to the lower versions, we have snapshots, we have DB2Top, we have table functions, and then the improvisations was done version by version for the views. Then we went to the monget functions, then DSM top, DB2Top, and DMC top now. So much work has been done on the monitoring side too. There's a separate team which does this in the labs. So just today's session, what we are going to do here is, what are the basic and the fundamental monitoring things we'll concentrate whenever we have any type of issue. It may be performance or whatever the area of the issue may be there, but how effectively we can use the powerful monitoring tools and the procedures that DB2 provides us. It's not like we are covering complete monitoring stuff, but definitely we are covering the very critical and the main stuff that can be used for our day-to-day tasks. So I'll just go through that presentation one by one.
Raghu, I'm seeing the bin screen. I don't see the presentation on the screen yet.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I clicked on the show my screen now, Mohan.
Yeah, correct. So, but we're able to see your screen, but you did not launch the presentation yet. I just see the desktop and a widget, which is the bin, right? Folder.
Yeah. Is there any button I had to click, Mohan, here?
No. You need to launch your presentation. Your slides has to be launched, right?
1 minute. Yes, I'm doing the slideshow from here. I play from the start.
No, I don't see the slides yet. I'm seeing only the bin directory, what you're showcasing with Raghav, RAD. You may be having two different screens. I see now
is it visible
the
now?
official hub. Yep, I see the presentation now. Right.
Okay. So shall I start from the start slideshow, please?
Yeah. So no, you went back again to official hub. Yeah, this is the correct one.
Okay. So is it visible now?
It is correct. It's a full screen now. Thank you.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. So this is the slides again, some of the achievements done in IBM. Last time also I showed this. Now let me go to the exact session. So here, what are these built-in routines and views? Okay. So when it comes to the built-in routines and views, the part, so what exactly they are? See, IBM provides us one of fantastic routines for us, built-in routines and views, which we can use effectively to query the monitoring purpose. So what are the advantages? Okay, what are the advantages of these built-in routines and views compared to the snapshots? I think everybody knows about the snapshots who have worked from the older versions like DB2 7, 8, or even 4, 5. That's the basic thing which was used. For example, if I want to get a snapshot on the database, I have a get snapshot for database command. If I want to get a snapshot on the dynamic SQLs, I have a get snapshot for dynamic SQLs. So everybody has used it. That's the basic data we had in the lower versions. But the wonderful improvisation, what has happened on top of version 9, 8 is, so no need of going to those overhead snapshot commands always, because it has a lot of overhead on the system. So the improvisation, great improvisation done here is on the built-in routines and views part. So IBM provides, DB2 provides us innumerable built-in routines and the views which we can use for specific purposes. So now, what are all these built-in routines? That is, built-in routines are and views provides a simplified programmatic interface to administer and use databases and database objects through structured query language. That's the game-changing part here. See, if I use a snapshot commands in the lower versions, I cannot query through a SQL, right? Because if, for example, say get snapshot for database, I'll say, so huge dump of data, it will put me in a file. Again, I had to go to that file, and such almost a complete dump of the data, where to look for, what part to look for, which area to look for. I had to scroll to that file. The biggest advantage, what the built-in routines and views provides over the snapshot is, we can query the needed fields, needed critical data, needed critical fields of the path from these built-in views and routines through a structured query language, through a SQL. That's a beautiful thing, because you can just get whatever the needed information. Now, these built-in routines comprise what it has. It has procedures, it has scalar functions, it has table functions. You can, different sections will get it. Say procedure, under procedure will get Monreport module procedures. Under scalar functions, we have some functions. Under table functions, we have innumerable monget functions, table functions for different areas. So whatever needed, we can use it. Now, how we can run this? You can run this built-in routines and views from an SQL-based application, a command line or a command script. So it gives all this freedom for us. Now, to help ensure your successful use of the built-in routines and views, certain coding practices are recommended. These practices are especially important because routines might change from release to release. Now, if I want to use this built-in routines and views, what is the authorization I need? Right, that is very important. See, the authorization I need are for all built-in routines in the sysproc schema, I need an execute privilege on the routine. And for all the built-in views in the sys IBM ADM schema, you need a select privilege on the view. Now, next, for all built-in routines in the sysproc schema, as I said, you need an execute privilege. Now, if you want to get what are all the built-in routines present in the system right now, I can use the below query. In a similar way, if you want to get all the built-in views that are present in the schema, go for the second query. So it will give you in a nutshell what are the built-in routines, what are the built-in views. Now, let me go a little bit one by one deeper on snapshot routines and views. So what are these? This grouping of routines and views can be used to retrieve information about the database and any connected applications at a specific time. Now, routines and views. There are a lot of routines, as I said. Here we are covering the very important one I selected, maybe others too, but to cover in the session, I had taken one selected important ones here. See, what is the first one? Query preparation cost administrative view. What is the advantage of this view? I can use this view to retrieve statement preparation time information from the system. Next, I have snap dyn SQL administrative view, and I have snap get dyn SQL table function too. Both are different. So snap dyn SQL view I can use to retrieve dynamic SQL information. Similarly, I can use the table function snap get dyn SQL also to get the dynamic SQL. In the next slides, we'll query also how to query. There are select statements which will be shown how to query from this. So the third one is snap util progress. Say, what is util progress? You may be running any of the utilities in your system, say load, like backup, run stats, reorg, and restore. So if you want to check the progress of it, then you can use this beautiful view. That is snap util progress and table function snap get util progress. Now, if you want to progress in the reorg stuff specifically, which phase it is on, what type of reorg it is, there is an offline, in place. So then you can use snap tab reorg administrative view and table function snap get tab reorg. Now, this is also one of the critical. If you want to check top dynamic SQLs in your system, what it is doing, the getting hogged, specifically for the dynamic SQL, then you can use top dynamic SQL administrative view. Now, let me go deeper one by one here. What is query preparation cost administrative view? The query preparation cost administrative view returns a list of statements with information about the time required to prepare the statement. And what is the schema where this view we can get? That is his IBM ADM. So these are all the authorizations I need to execute this view. See, simple. How I can query from this? Select number of executions, average execution time, preparation time %, substring of, because since the statement text will be huge, if you want to just put the things, whatever I need on the screen. I'm just selecting substring of statement text 130 as statement text. Then from sys IBM ADM is the schema dot query preparation cost is my view, order by preparation time %. So I'll get an output this. So this is the biggest advantage. As I said in the starting slide, you cannot do this in a snapshot. I cannot go with the select statement. And one more thing to remember here on these views or monitor functions or table functions or the routines is they're all point in time data. You'll not get historical information. So at that point in time, whatever the things is happening in my system, I can query and see it. So this is a beautiful way of querying whatever the fields needed through a SQL from a view. Next, the one more beautiful important view and function is snap dy in SQL administrative view and snap get dynamic SQL table function. So this will it will concentrate on the dynamic SQLs part here. So this is it is similar. See, the third statement will give us analogy. This view, whatever we are getting the information, is equivalent to the get snapshot for dynamic SQL on database command. So this is the old method what we were using to get the details on the dynamic SQL, get snapshot for. So the similar thing these views will do, but the added advantage what we get here is overhead is less, and also we can format whatever the things needed through SQL. It's a readable format. So this is SQL I can use from this view. Select preparation time, worst, number of compilations, substring again of the text, statement text from sys IBM ADM dynamic SQL. So I'll get all the list of dynamic SQLs which are worst preparation time, have worst preparation time with the number of compilations metrics. This is a view and this is a table function. There is a difference between a view and a table function. Okay. So what is the snap get dynamic table function does? Again, it retrieves the same dynamic SQL administrative view metrics here. So again, it's similar to the get snapshot. And the query what I can use here is select preparation time. Suppose, see, whenever you're querying from table function from table of, so that says table function. If it is a view from sys IBM ADM dot, that's a difference. Here from table of, that's a table function. So I'll get the needed fields. Similarly, snap util progress is administrative view and snap get util progress is a table function. So again, select utility ID, progress total units, progress completed units, DB partition num from sys IBM ADM dot snap util progress. So this is the output I'll get for the different utilities. Again, it's again in the similar way, we are going for the table function. See, this is equivalent to the list utilities command and list utilities show detail command, what we operate normally. It's equal to almost the similar output here. Okay, query. Next. Reorg. This is one of the very important what I feel, because whenever the reorg scenario comes into the picture because of some data maintenance utility, performance aspect is going down, and the reorg check output is showing us, yes, these tables and indexes need a reorg, and the reorg has to be performed based on the customer consent, whether it's an offline or in place, whatever it may be. So whenever the reorg things are getting operated, so I have to just monitor it, right? What exactly my reorg is doing there, which phase it is happening, which phase it is running right now, also how much progress it has been done. All those things you can get from these two this view and a table function. So simple, select substring of table name as table name, substring of table schema, reorg phase, which phase it is running, what is the reorg type, as reorg type, what is the status, whether it's completion, and from this view. See, this is a table name, employee, table schema, replace phase it is right now, what is the type, offline, completed, reorg status, success. So you can check the parallel session when it is getting executed. So this is one of the biggest advantages, as I said. In a query, you can monitor everything. Similarly, I can use a table function here. Same thing from table of, it will be same, almost same fields, it will be table of. Okay. This is also one of the beautifully, normally, frequently, I'll use this whenever to troubleshoot the things. Top dynamic SQL. So top dynamic SQL based on the different metrics I have to capture. So I can use this. Select. Now I want to identify in the system top 5 most frequently run dynamic SQL. Okay. So select number of executions, average execution time, statement sorts, sorts per execution, substring of text, again, whatever the need you need, how much text you need from this view, order by number of executions, fetch first 5 also. So these are all the top 5 important frequently run SQL, dynamic SQLs in the system. Yeah. Now we have covered very important views and the table functions. Now we are going to a different area here on the monitoring purpose itself. Monreport module. So what is this Monreport module? See, this Monreport module idea was introduced in the DB2 from the version 9.7 plus. So before 9.7, we cannot get this Monreport modules. This was introduced. So what is basically Monreport module here? These are all some set of important procedures given by IBM for us for different tasks. So these are a set of procedures. They're not views, they're not table functions. So earlier we discussed on views and table functions. Here they're procedures. So what are those set of procedures? We have 5 important set of procedures which DB2 provides us. One is connection procedure. What it is, the connection report provides a monitoring report for each connection. Next is the current apps procedure. If you want to concentrate on the current applications run in the system, then I can go for this current apps procedures and the details needed for it. Then the SQLs, if you want to concentrate, current SQL report lists the top activities currently running as measured by various metrics. And the DB summary, this is very critical. As per my, it's like, I can say this is like first aid monitoring box for the DB2. See, whenever something is going on a system in DB2, in a nutshell, if you want to get the summary of it, what are all the things that are happening under different sections, then please execute this procedure. It's a high recommendation from my end because it helped a lot for me and it helps you people too, I am damn sure. So just execution of the procedure. I'll show in the next slides how to do it. So it will give all the, in a nutshell, what are the things that are happening in a system under different sections. So based on that section, you can go where the things are going wrong, which section to look for, which metric to look for, based on the output of this procedure. Next, if there are any log quits in the system, and you want to deal with holding log, waiting log, which application log, what kind of log, use this log quit procedure. And then the package cache. This is also one of the critical procedure because what is package cache? It's a part of the memory where it will store both dynamic and the SQL, static SQLs. So if you want to dig deeper, or like what are the static SQLs where things are going wrong, dynamic SQLs where things are going wrong based on the different metrics, then I can execute this procedure. They are all wonderful procedures. Please make sure to use as much as possible, depending on the necessity. See now, how to execute it, right? See, if you want to execute the connection procedure, just db2 call monreport.connection. db2 call monreport.connection. What is Monreport? It's a schema. Connection is the procedure name and give seconds, whatever needed. So the output gets collected in a file. Then you can just check I have not pasted the output files here because it will occupy a lot of full screen. So you can just, what you can do is just call this and redirect to a file, say db2 call monreport.connection of 30, redirect to connection details.out or connection data.out something. Then go to that file and check. It will give all the details. Okay. So if you want to call summary, simple, db2 call monreport.db summary of the dated seconds. So all the summary details get stored in the output file. Similarly, if you want to get the current apps, just call. Simple, very simple to use, but the data it will project is huge. It all depends on how you analyze the data, what it gives an output for it. Current SQL also in a similar way. Also, the Monreport log wait, just call like this, and even the package cache. Simple, db2 call, db2 Monreport package cache of needed seconds. Now, so the focus now we are moving here is on the monget functions. So what is this monget function? Right, we'll get a question. See here, there are different concepts we are covering here. First, it was a view, then it was a table function, then the Monreport procedures. Now it's a monget function. What is this monget function? See, monget functions are the table functions written by the labs, right? Which are very lightweight thread model based protocol it will use, and it's very less overhead in the execution. And internally, they use different views for the data to get. So we have huge monget functions for different areas. Like if you want to go for buffer pool, I have a monget function. If you want to go for a dynamic SQL, I have a monget function. If you want to go for a HADR part, I have a monget function. If you want to check on the connections part, I have a monget function. Then if you want to check on the database part, I have a monget function for that. If you want to check only on the instance part, yes, there is a monget function for that. It all depends on which area and what purpose I am using that specific monget function I can target for. So when it was introduced, again, it was introduced in the higher versions. Okay, what's the difference here compared to using snapshot data? Again, one of the biggest advantage for us it provides is I can query through user SQL, which I cannot do in the snapshots. Now, how to find what table functions are available in the system? Okay, if you want to simply list the available monitoring functions, you can use this query and the below query. It will display a complete list of monget functions you have in the system. Okay. Now, see, as I said, there are huge monitor functions. Okay, this is just a simple list, what I mentioned here. We have, apart from this, we have a lot of others. I just covered some basic critical monget functions under different sections. Now, monget buffer pool, it will take care of buffer pool part, as I said. Monget database, it will go for the database part. Monget table, it will go for the table. Index, it will consider the index part. Table space, you can get the table space details. Transaction log, you can check with this. Connection, you can get connection. Instance related, if you want to go, monget instance. If you want to search any latches part, go for the monget latch. If you want to get the group buffer, what is this group buffer pool? I think people will remember the group buffer pool concept will come in the DB2 scale. So because it has different member concept there, and we get a different group buffer pools under it. So we can use this monget functions on the P scale part to check. Then if you want to go for the memory metrics, monget memory pool, monget memory set. Then if you want to go dive deep into the database thing still, what is happening, go for the monget database details. And if you want to just concentrate on the agent thing, go for the monget agent. If you want to check on the application handle part, where the specific things are happening, what it is causing, why the log queries are happening for this ID or whatever it may be the reason, go for the monget application ID. If you want to go for the complete log query details, use monget APPL log query. And if you want to explore the container part in the system, use monget container. And if you want to go for the HADR part to check on the primary standby, multiple standbys, whatever the HADR in depth, go for monget HADR. Then if you want to concentrate on the page related stuff in the architecture, what is going on, monget page access info. Then the last two are, as I said, monget package cache. As I explained in that Monreport package cache, the same thing we do here, but it's in a table function. Now, one by one, let me go how to query through these monget functions and see the output of it. So monget buffer pool, what is this wonderful table function DB2 provides? So I can get a hit ratio from this simple using a query, right? So computing the buffer pool hit ratio with buffer metrics as select. See, this advantage of selecting whatever the fields needed, whatever the metrics I want to take, I cannot do with the snapshots, right? So I can do with these table functions, monget functions. So I am selecting buffer pool name, get the formula for the hit ratio from table of monget buffer pool as metrics. Then I can select needed hit ratio. So the output will be, what is a buffer pool? Logical reads, physical reads, hit ratio. So as everybody knows, this is like elementary concept for everybody. Everybody will be doing that. So hit ratio is less, it's not good for the system. Hit ratio is more, it's good for the system. So if it is less, then check why it is going for the disk, how we can concentrate on the purple part. If it's more, fine, it's healthy, things are going well in the system. Now, coming to the MonGit database, right? So whatever the things are happening in the database, you want to check important fields or something. So determine the activation time, activation state, total connections, and connection high watermark, all those fields. Just query it. Just select needed fields from MonGit of database. So explicit hierarchical locking state for the database, if you want to get, just query it. It has huge fields, believe me. When you explore that MonGit database, I think it has more than 150 fields, I think. I don't remember, just I'm guessing. It has huge fields. So you can get whatever the field needed based on your requirement. So you want to get the needed stuff, just query that. No need of select star from. Just query whatever the fields you need. And table. If you want to concentrate on tables, see what this does. List all the activity on all tables access since the database was activated. I want to get that query. Just select table schema, table name, rows read, rows inserted, rows updated, rows deleted from MonGit of table, order by, so and so. It has huge fields, but I'm just querying whatever the needed fields. Similarly, if you want to get the indexes. So now I want to check what are the most used indexes in the system. Yes, go with the MonGit index. Select these fields and get the data. Now, if you want to go for the table space, so table space is also very important in the system. Now, so details of the table space, just query whatever is needed from the MonGit table space. This is very, very one of the important table function, what I feel personally. So if any some transaction logs system are going in the wrong way, it's filling up or something, which application ID is holding for me, why it is causing logful, what is that application handle ID which is holding, everything you can get here. See, application holding oldest, this is the critical field, application ID holding oldest tags. Say if you get some output as 6487, say. So that's the culprit application ID, which is holding the log. So you can check why, what is the details for it again. That handle ID you can get from MonGit agent again. So it's all, you can use interdependent, all this. So why my transaction log is getting filled, which application ID is holding that. So everything I can get from this view. Again, to have one reminder here, this you can get from 9.5 plus, again, this field. Before that, the only option to search this is in the diagram. So that's like a huge information we get from there. But if you want to use these improvised capabilities, just go for this MonGit functions. Then the connection part, if you want to get connection details, display connections that return the highest volume of data to clients, then use this fields, whatever the, again, as I said, MonGit connection has huge fields. Just here we are selecting application handle, rows return, TCP send volume. And the instance part. So instance level, what all the things are happening. I can just query it. Latch. This is very important concept actually. It's a very rare performance stuff which we can land into. So if you want to find out the latching information, how to find the latches are there, how to dig deeper, the latching thing problems are happening in the system, then I can use MonGit latch. So what I can do here, call the MonGit latch table function in databases using this query. So now I got all the latch name I got, what is the memory address I got, what is the edu ID related that, edu name, which is causing loss. See, one more thing to remember here is, as per my experience and the knowledge what I got with the labs we were discussing, all the latches in the system is not harmable. I mean to say they'll not harm this performance. So there are some specific set of latches which may hit the performance. Like say, if the latch name is starting with this skill B something, it's related to buffer pool. If it's a normal latches, it's fine. It will come and go. It will not hinder the performance. Only there are specific latches which we have to concentrate on how to resolve those. So now I got a latch names here. Next step, what I have to do? Once I got a latch name, call that get latch table function to determine the latches are contested. So again, at what way? See, this is the main thing. I to call this query again, which is contested, that stated queue. So then, once I got this details, again, the previous output shows two latches that are contested by applications. CB, this is a status. So the culprits. Again, I will pass those two latches here, then get the some more details here. You can use these monget functions to do any type of research, any type of investigation deeper, whatever the fields needed, why it is happening at any area. It may be instance, database, performance, latches, buffer pools, table spaces, whatever. It all depends on how you use the fields. So group buffer pool, as I said, this is a concept where I should use the DB2 scale. Say if the number of group buffer pools are getting filled up, I want to check how wide is happening, then I can use this. So that's an alarm thing for the DB2 scale performance part. This is just a one section of it. There are a lot of areas to look for DB2 scale performance. This is one of the area. So if that is the case, then I'll update the current buffer pool size using new size after getting the output of this. Memory. See, memory is something which is used again, the concept, okay? Because memory is not like, I can say, just one area, right? It's not. See, instance level memory gets allocated, database level memory gets allocated, application level memory gets allocated, sort things will happen inside. And these allocation, deallocation will be happening all the time based on the request. Say if some application is getting spawned, the memory has to be allocated there. If the database things are getting spawned, the EDUs, memory has to be allocated and deallocated there. If at an instance level something is happening, memory has to be allocated and deallocated there. So it's almost impossible to get an exact value of the memory of DB2 system at that point. Okay, but DB2 provides beautiful monget functions to check that too on the different sections. What are those? That is monget memory pool. We have different pool type under what section that comes. DBMS pool, FMP, database, application, different sections it will come. So all those you can query, say, select varchar of memory set type, varchar of memory pool type, varchar of DB name, memory pool used, high watermark. So everything you can get from a monget memory pool. Also, there is one more table function called monget memory set that also you can use. That is, here you have different sets of memory. That is DBMS, FMP, private, database, application. So all the set details you can get from monget memory set. So I think we don't have any equivalent snapshots for this. Yeah, we may get in somewhere in one of the snapshots, but it's very tough to dig there. But this makes our life easier. Like monget functions, we can use retrieve the memory sets. And also apart from this, we can use DB2 mtrk command, which provides a beautiful memory details. Even DB2 PD is there. So a lot of things are there. But when it comes to monget functions, you can use these two specific monget functions for the memory part. Then, as I said, if you want to go a little bit of deeper in the database details, okay, what else I can dig deeper? So that at a different CPU, time, metrics level, rows rate, logs, everything. You can query everything from this monget details. Agent. So what is this agent? Okay, see, agent concept, I think if you go back to the DB2 architecture level, what happens whenever some request is coming from the application side, first it will hit the DB2 server, then it will pass on to the coordinator agent ID, and that coordinator agent ID will split the task and it will supply to the different sub-agents, and those sub-agents will perform the specific needed tasks, and again, that result will be sent back to the coordinator agent ID. Again, the coordinator agent ID will send back to the application. So this is the way how in the architecture things will go on. So now if you want to concentrate on exactly at the agent level what is happening, so what agent exactly you want to get, then you can use monget agent table function. See, here agent type, right? What is this agent type? coordinator agent. So coordinator agent ID is different, sub-agent is different. So you can get all those details here. Now, what is the application handle? Like which application handle specifically you should target for, like what it is holding or what rows read, which ID is using, performing rows read or rows deleted, rows selected, everything, all the details you can get with Monget connection application handle. Lock weights. So you know lock weight scenarios, like why it is happening, why it will happen, and if they're persistent, you can investigate. See, now I have some hung application in the system. Okay. And a customer is complaining there is some hung application in the system. How I can detect that, right? In this simple scenario, the Monget ABL lock weight table function is used to investigate that hung application. How? First, use the Monget connection table function to look up the application handle for all the connections with the session user value of user one. Oh, I got all the connection. This is the application handle ID. That is 131130. I fed that information. Next, what it does, what I can do, use that Monget agent table function to apply the current information about all agent ID working for this. So I should get all the details for that application handle ID. See, I'm passing that here, 131130. For that, I'll get all the related agent IDs. So for this application handle ID, these are all the agent IDs related. These are all the agent type. These are all the things it's happening on the system. Now, once this is done, to determine all locks that the application is waiting for, because if there are some lock weights, there should be holding, there should be waiting. So now I want to check what are the waiting stuff here. Select lock name, hold member, which is holding, hold agent ID, which is waiting, then as holding gap from this FPL lock wait and pass that application handle ID. That is, that application handle ID is 131130. So here, clearly it is saying me holding gap is this. Now, call the Monget table function to find out more about that application handle ID, which is holding. Again, now, once I got that holding application handle ID, which is 65564, I want to dig deeper that what that is doing. So exactly I'll get that connection which is holding the lock, which is waiting, and we can try to resolve that lock weight scenario, which is hung application. And also one great advantage what the Monget functions gives is once you frame all these queries for the investigation of these issues, whatever you need, you can put it in a script, right? It may be corn shell, bash shell, C shell, or even a Python. You can put it in the script easily and make it a handy stuff. So whenever these scenarios or these issues we're getting, just execute that script and store the data. It'll make our life easier. Now, if you want to get the container information, that's the way all these table spaces resides at the disk level part. If you want to just explore that. So I want to get the container details. I can get it. Again, there is a beautiful Monget functions. But one thing to remember here is, as I said in the first, all this data, all this output, whatever we're getting through these Monget functions are point in time. They're not historical. Nowhere from any of the table functions you can get historical data. So now the question is, we may ask how to get the historical data. If you want to get the historical data, there is one beautiful concept called delta values, which is not explained in these slides. So what we can do is select, say for example, now I'm selecting this field and storing in one temporary table. I'll put a sleep of 80 seconds. Then again, I'll query the same fields and put in a table. I'll take the difference of those two. Then I can get the historical data. Okay. You can do whatever the circus we can do to get the historical data, write a script or schedule for a specific time. But if you're expecting historical data from the Monget functions, no, you can't do that, because as per my knowledge, I think the architectural space given for that is some space it's allocated for this. So that's that space it has to use. The Monget function has to use for the data to store. So it's like cut and paste stuff. It's not like it has huge space where it can push the historical data like event monitors or like snapshots. No, it's just a point in time data. So now if you want to get the monitor functions details, yes, select the container details. You can do select pair of container name, table space related to that from the container. So list any containers that are not accessible. So you may have some containers which are not accessible. If you want to query that, yes, select varchar of container name from table space where accessible is equal to 0. So right now, everything is accessible. If the container is not accessible, it will display here. Now, if you want to list utilization of the container file systems, order by highest utilization. Yes, I can do that. Select varchar of container name, fs ID, fs use size, fs total size, case, have a logic here. Based on that, you can get the total usage, utilization. HDR, again, one of the beautiful feature what DB2 provides is for the disaster recovery things to enable primary standby HRDS settings. I think everybody knows this. So what are the parameters to set? So all those details, the DBCFG parameters, the HDR configuration, everything you can query from this monget function. HDR role, standby, HDR state, primary member host, everything from monget HDR. And this is also one of the important See, at last, the individual units where the things will go on, all this data, everything, it has to reside in a page, right? So if you want to get that some page-related information, yes, you can query that too. That is through monget page access info. Package statement. This is very critical because, see, whenever we are having some issues in the query level, like it's consuming suddenly the execution time is more, it is hogging CPU, its execution time has increased, its average execution time has increased. So suddenly it was performing well, now it is performing slow because the volume of the data would have grown in the table, or it may be a number of facts. Definitely the queries will go for a toss, like of the performance. Now, if I want to analyze that, so why the query is performing slow? The best place to land for here is monget package statement, because the one advantage of this here is you'll get both static and dynamic SQLs. But in the earlier slides, what we explained, if you want to just target dynamic SQLs, I should use snapget DON SQL or top dynamic SQL only for dynamic SQLs. There is no something specific static. But here, luckily, you can target dynamic and static, both. In monget package cache statement table function, you can specifically retrieve dynamic or the static. How? See here in this query, select member everything detail. You're seeing here D. This D is dynamic. If you replace the D with S, it is static. So again, you can get all the related details with dynamic or static SQLs and explore. Statement details also, it does the same. Little bit extra again here. I'm going to say in detail, if you want to go, that we can query whatever the fields needed here for the monget package caching. So these are details from my end in the session. Please, if any of the questions or queries, please you can type. These are the details, Mohan and Martin, from my end today.
Thanks, Raghu. That was pretty good. Let's see if we have any questions here. No questions for today. Thank you. I'll take the screen back. If you have any questions, please do type it in the chat window. We can discuss that while we have some time, right? Today's show sponsored by DBI. DBI Software, your trusted partner for performance tuning aspects of solutions for DB2 and SQL Server. We have a lot of DBI products, which includes flagship suites such as Pure Feed Performance Management, that's going to help you with 4 different software stack. One is about the Brother Panther, Brother Thoroughbred, Hawk, and then Eagle. So those are going to help you in fine-tuning the databases, application performance, and the database, the change management as well. You can manage the changes, and you can highlight to say when you introduced an index or create a table. It's gonna give you information about when a change was made to the database, so that you can pinpoint or understand what's happening in the database, how it is impacting your performance, right? And this is one of the overview about the lightweight monitoring tool, which is going to run, and then you don't really have to install anything on your laptop. You can just bring up the thin client, which is the your Chrome or Microsoft Edge, and then link it to your web server, and then web server will feed you all the details here, what you're seeing, which will give you a lot of information about worst performing, best performing, highest transaction rate, the CPU time, the long-running SQL statements, the number of sorts. All that information will be given within one screen, and then this can be a very good dashboard even for incident management team as well. With that, I'm gonna post the question, the last question for today. That's gonna be, did you learn anything today? Let me know once you're done. We're gonna be having 10 seconds. Collecting the responses. We're gonna wait for 5 more seconds and we'll close the poll. Okay, closing the poll, sharing the result. Great, so 100% audience learned something today. Thanks, Raghu, for sharing your knowledge. Appreciate that. This is one of the chat which gives you a trend about how the database performance look for the entire day at 8:30 in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning, right? So this will give you an indicator about when the performance started degrading, right? That's gonna be a real helpful when you're working on a production set 1 problem. And this is another dashboard which gets you the memory, CPU, the number of threads, number of transactions per second, number of transactions per minute. You can drill down to seconds as well, the lock weights, and then deadlocks, right? So those are the KPIs which you'd really look at when there is a real problem in your database. All right, with that, we're gonna close the session for today, and then we'll come back next year. Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks, Raghu. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Thanks, Mohan. Thanks, Martin.